Beast Wars. Running from 1996 and as late as 2001, this was my childhood line. Yes, I have a lot of nostalgia for the bombastic Generation 2, but this is the line where I started getting the figures myself. Because of this, Beast Wars will always have a special place in my heart, and I want to share that with all of you. So welcome to Beast Wars Backtrack. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Beast Wars Backtrack. I'm your host, Ross13, and today we are done, at least for now, with the 10th anniversary line and are taking a look at some actual vintage Beast Wars stuff. Right here we have the evil Predacon Terragator from the Fusors line. This is actually one of my childhood toys, and I'm super excited to show him off to you. I kind of decided to jump to this guy because of a conversation I had online, and he's also just one of my favorite toys. So before we take a look at the figure, we're going to take a look at what I have of the packaging. The bubble is long gone, but I did manage to save the entire card back. Well, most of it at least. Some of the papers come off here. But this shows off the really cool Beast Wars packaging. We got a very cool illustration here. In fact, let's move the camera up here. Yeah. I just love this painted illustration of the figure right there. So cool looking. We got the actual Transformers Beast Wars logo, complete with the sort of Generation 2 style Transformers part. Evil Predacon Terragator with the Predacon symbol. We got the cool sort of reptilian eye thing going on. And you can't really see it too much, but down here it's the Kenner logo instead of Hasbro. That's because Kenner was the company that got a hold of Transformers to do Beast Wars. Hasbro was like, we don't know what to do with it. Here, you new guys, do something with this. On the flip side, we have some product callouts, little description of things. It says, Fusors, an alien planetary destruction device, has sent a quantum surge across the Beast Wars world. Its drastic force generated a malfunction in the Transformers genetic scanners, causing the fusion of two different wild animals into one beast. The result: heroic Maximals versus evil Predacons, robot warriors disguised as fantastical beasts in devastating battle for power. The first waves of Fusors has arrived, but beware, more coming. Alright, and so let's see if I can get this. There we go. We got Silverbolt, Injector, Nocturo, and Terragator, and I have all of those. Then they actually have the instructions printed on the back of the packaging here, mainly because it's a fairly simple transformation there. And here is his bio. We got strength of 6, intelligence 6, speed 4, endurance 5, rank 6, courage 9, not bad, firepower 7, and skill 7. Predacon Terragator. Function: swamp warrior, amphibious assault. Most Transformers find that smelly, mucky environments clog up their circuitry. Not the half-croc, half-turtle Terragator. He prefers it. Terragator is most at home in the swamplands and sewers. Part of the Predacon's elite amphibious warriors, his specialty is land-water assault. In robot mode, he wields an impenetrable shield, and his hand reveals an awesome weapon. And it says that the change level of robot conversion is basic, because this is a basic class 1. And something neat that they did on these is on the proof of purchase things, you actually have the name of the figure. And so we got Kenner 1997. That is a depressingly long time ago. And then instructions and stuff. And these were all designed to be clipped and saved, as they say. But that's enough of this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual figure now. And here he is. And man, just look at this guy. The paint apps on this guy are where it's at, particularly on the shell. Look at this, the yellows and the browns all capped off with the white. You do not see paint apps like this on a Transformer anymore. This thing is basically literally covered in paint. And I'm not sure if this metallic green is the plastic itself or a paint job on it, but it looks phenomenal. Underneath, it's very much, a robot crunched underneath, but I think the only weak part is the eyes are just plain red. Now, a cool little feature he has, let's see, is if you push on the tail, it activates a mechanism where you can open and close the jaws. And that is so cool looking. Articulation-wise, he doesn't have much there. You got the jaw motion. These back legs are on ball joints, and you can move the tail a little bit, but it's not really supposed to. These can move as well, but if you move them too much, you break the sculpt, basically. So again, like most Beast Wars toys, when you have him in beast mode, he's kind of meant to basically sort of stay in one position, and then you just use your imagination. Now, like I said earlier, he is a basic class figure, so he's a little bit smaller, though still would be considered fairly large for a modern day Transformer. But just for size comparison, here he is next to Terragator, who we saw Cheetor, he's the repaint of earlier. So as you can see, very much a smaller toy. Not quite as bulky or anything. But let's go ahead and take a look at transformation. So let's see. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pop out the shield. You technically don't have to do that, but it can make things a little bit easier. Plus you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to disconnect that. You see there's a peg here and a port there. And we're going to lift the arms up. We're going to go ahead, flip the head up, rotate the legs like so. Then we're going to flip that down, rotate, and then kind of slide it into place. Then you just get his feet in position. These parts you can just fold up however you like. This shoulder part comes down, and then you can rotate that down. And then the shield just connects back where it was. So you got two pegs here, two ports here. Oh, and there is the, I think they refer to them as the Energon chips, which have a little thing where if you push on them, it kind of changes color. Very much along the same lines as the rub signs from Generation 1. All right. Get the camera a little bit better position. And here he is. Let's see if I can get a little bit better light on him. And he looks pretty cool. He's very much asymmetrical, and I dig that a lot. Even on the robot mode itself, you see you got the sort of more mechanical details here. And I think a lot of Fusors tried for this. At least maybe Predacon was one. Or maybe it's just this guy. I'm looking at the call-outs on the other one, and they're more symmetrical. Anyway, looks very cool. You get a little bit more blue coming into this one, where you can see all of his more of his robot mode stuff. And if you want, you can still open and close the jaws there. And you can flip out these barrels, and there is his gun. I don't know if he had a special name for it or something, but it's still pretty cool looking. But this shield is the part that I always really, really liked. Just something about the fact that he had this giant shield just spoke to me and really made me like this guy. Articulation wise, his head is on a sort of standard, it's not a ball socket joint, it's just sort of a peg, so you can rotate around, you can look down if you want. Shoulder here just rotates around, and you can go from side to side. Elbow is a ball socket joint, which allows for about 90-degree bend. Nothing at the wrist. This shoulder is ball socket joint, so you have a little bit more range of movement. The shield will block things. Again, ball socket joint there. There is a little bit of jointing here, but if you have the shield together, you're going to lose that. You do actually have waist articulation. Leg can kick up pretty far, kick back pretty good, and you get a little bit better than 90-degree bend on the ball socket knee. And then you have ball socket at the ankles, which allow for actually pretty decent range of movement. Something that a lot of people have noticed is that the basic figures, the basic class figures from Beast Wars, and even some of the early Unicron trilogy figures were kind of better, and then some of the larger figures. Maybe it's just because they had to work hard, the designers had to work harder to get more out of the tiny figure. But you got some really nice figures here, and this is one of them. I would highly recommend this to anybody, but just make sure that you get one that has some decent paint apps there, or if you want to paint it yourself or something, you don't have to worry about that. But he holds up pretty well. You don't have to worry about any of the gold plastic syndrome stuff, and he just looks really cool. Now, hold on a sec. Let's do a quick comparison to Tigertron one more time. All right, so here is Tigertron, and you get an idea of how much smaller he is in comparison. Here, we'll flip this down so you can see his face a little bit better. So yeah, basic classes were much smaller than their deluxe counterparts, but I think they packed a lot more punch for their money. Even in Beast Machines, which if I ever move on to that, well, I have some stuff to show you there. So yeah, that has been a review. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. Check the description below for links to my storefront where you can get official Shelf Space t-shirts and more. And yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.